Hey everyone, welcome to class today. My name is Ellen McKay, and this class is going to be a 30-minute sweat stretch renew. So if you've never done any of my classes before, sweat stretch renew is something I put together several years ago, probably 15 years ago. And it's a little bit of vinyasa, a little bit of deep stretching, and some restorative at the end. So we've got 30 minutes. This is just going to be a full body flow. Get into something cozy and let's get started. We're going to start at the top of our mat and bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Close the eyes if you feel steady. And just breathe a few times. Good. If you've practiced a lot with me, this is just going to be some very familiar flows, some familiar movement, because sometimes we just need to come back home. Sometimes we just need to do what feels familiar, give ourselves a little rest of this newness that is all around us. So settle in, enjoy class. Thank you for being here. 3 more breaths. Nice. Good. Slowly blink the eyes open if they're closed. Bring the hands down by the side. Let's find our mountain or Tadasana, feet underneath the hips. Feel those shoulders work down away from the ears. See if you can start to bring ears, shoulders, hips, and heels somewhat in line with each other. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for awareness. So take another couple breaths here. Feeling the crown of the head lift up towards the ceiling, lengthening the back of the neck. Good. One more breath here. Feeling that long, tall mountain. Great. Let's add a little bit more movement here. Inhale, hands lift up. Good. We're going to take right hand, hold on to that left wrist, reach up and over to one side. Let's get a little side to side movement. Bring it back to center, and we're just going to switch other side. Good. Let's do one more each side. Up and over, and up and over. Fantastic. Back to center. Bring those hands all the way down. Roll the shoulders up and back. Good. Let's take the chin down towards the chest. Add some movement of the head side to side. Good. Wonderful. Head eventually comes to the right. We'll take a breath there. You can keep that left hand where it is, just kind of reaching out to that left side. Or if you want, turn the palm to face behind you and slide that hand along the back. Good. 2 more breaths. Nice. Unwind the arm, chin to the chest, and take the head to the left. Great. Let's do the same thing on this side. Again, that right arm can just kind of reach down, or if you want, turn the palm behind and slide that hand along the back. A few breaths. In and out. Find your own pace. Find your rhythm today. We're not going to do a ton of extra breath work, just little reminders here and there to keep breathing. Nice. Last breath here. Good. Release the arm. Chin comes back to center. Inhale. Head lifts. Good. Roll those shoulders up and back again. Good. Great. Again, bring it to the front of the mat. You're probably still there. Hands lift all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees as much as you need to. This is our first forward fold here. Inhale, lift up halfway, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, take that left foot back. Left knee comes down. Inhale, hands reach up. Nice big stretch. Open up through the front of that left hip, left quad. Good. Bring those hands back down. Tuck the back toes under, and we're coming into a wide pyramid. Good. Maybe you grab a block if you've got one handy. Bring that floor up a little bit more towards you. Or if it's okay, fingertips can meet the mat. You got it. One more breath here. Good. Fingertips back to the mat, so bend that right knee. Step that left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Good. Let's do the other side. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, right foot steps back this time. Bring that knee down to the mat. Inhale, hands sweep up. Big stretch here. Squeeze through the right glutes. Open up through the hip. Feel that belly lift towards the chest. Exhale, hands float down. Tuck the back toes under. Start to find that pyramid. So maybe that left knee doesn't go all the way straight. That's okay. It doesn't have to. We're just starting to work into those hamstrings. Again, maybe you add a block here or 2 blocks. You got it. A few more breaths. Where you are, back heel is probably going to be lifted. It doesn't need to come down like in a traditional pyramid. We're changing things up a little bit. One more breath. Good. This time, fingertips come down to the mat. Left foot goes back to meet the right. Find your plank or half plank. You choose, lower to the floor, belly to the mat. Inhale, hands under shoulders, open up to your cobra pose. Again, tuck the chin a little bit, lengthen through the neck, legs are strong. Release back down, press up and back. Down dog. Few breaths here. Just kind of rock those hips a little bit. Start to get into legs, lower body. Head can have a little shake. Soften again around neck and shoulders. One more breath. Great. Inhale, take a look up. Exhale, step the feet forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to the top. You got it. Exhale, hands in prayer. Let's add a little bit more. So weight's going to shift to the right foot. Left toes touch or knee lifts. Hands can stay in prayer. They can come to the side. You can reach up. Good. So weight's on the right foot. Left foot is lifted. Arms wherever you choose. 2 more breaths. Find that length and strength, just like in our mountain pose. Long spine. 1 more breath. Good. From here, we're going to float this left leg all the way back. Good. Bring the knee down again to the mat. Inhale, hands lift. Good. Let's add a twist. Take that left hand to the inside of the foot. Right hand to the right thigh. Twist to the right. Good. If you want, maybe right hand lifts. Open up a bit more through that chest and shoulder. You got it. Bring both hands down to the mat. Tuck the back toes under. Let's just come into that pyramid for a breath or 2. Again, knee doesn't have to be straight. Good. Take the weight forward. Step that left foot forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Great. Let's move to the other side. So now weight shifts into the left foot. Right toes touch or lift. Hands where you choose. Great. Weight's on that left foot. Right foot is lifted. Again, find your Tadasana. So we want to come back to that mountain pose over and over and over again. Long and strong. 1 more breath. Great. Take that right leg back. Lower that right knee all the way down to the floor. You got it. Couple more breaths. Nice. Take that right hand down to the mat. The left hand comes to the thigh. Open up. Breathe. Good. If you want, left hand lifts. 2 more breaths here. Great. Bring that left hand down. Tuck the back toes under. Let's start to straighten out. Move towards that wide pyramid. Again, maybe you add a block underneath your hands. Good. 2 more breaths. Wonderful. Bend that left knee, fingertips come to the floor. Take that left foot back again to meet the right. Find your plank or half plank, lower to the mat. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Few breaths. Walk it out if you want. Find stillness if you choose. You got it. One more breath. Inhale, take a look up. Exhale, step the feet forward. Forward fold. You got it. Halfway lift. Fold it down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Very nice. Let's find our dancer pose. So weight's going to shift to the right. Left toes touch this time. Left heel is going to come towards the glute. Maybe left hand finds left foot, left ankle. If you want to grab a strap or a hand towel, put it around that ankle if that feels better for you, go for it. Good. Right hand can stay on the chest. It can reach towards the ceiling. We're going to start to push that foot into the hand, and maybe that means you start to rock a little more forward. Good. Find your shape for 2 more breaths. Press that foot into the hand. Open up through the chest. 1 more breath. Good. Release it, step it back. We're going to turn the hips towards the long side of the mat. So right knee stays bent. Left leg is long. Adjust those legs as you need. Rolling those thighs to the outer edge of the foot. Arms reach out. Good. Breathe. Nice work. Good. Take that back hand, drop it back, lift the front, open up through that space. Good job. Bring that forearm down to the thigh, right arm up and over. If you want to add a little more core, reach that bottom hand towards me. Good. Press into the feet. Warrior 2. Take those hands all the way down. Right foot back to meet the left. Vinyasa of your choice. Change it up if you want. Find that downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale, take a look up. Exhale, step the feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Good. Stay at the front of your mat. I'm just switching sides so you can see me a little bit better. Now we're going to come into dancer on the other side. So weight shifts to the left. Right knee bends. Right hand finds ankle or foot. Or again, take your strap, sock, towel, whatever you got around the ankle. Press the foot into the hand. Left hand can stay by the heart or reach forward. Keep pushing. Find that stability. 2 more breaths here. Good job. Nice. Take that right foot, step it back wide. Turn those hips to the long side of the mat. Find your warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2 here. Nice. Reach through the fingertips. Press the palms down. Good. Feel that knee work towards the pinky edge side of the foot. Good. Drop the back hand back. Lift the front arm. Open up that space between your ribs and hips. Side angle, forearm down to the thigh, right arm up and over. If you want, reach those fingertips towards me. 3 more breaths. Good. Press into the feet. Warrior 2. Sweep the hands all the way down. Left foot back to meet the right. Vinyasa if you want. Great work. This time, press back to child's pose. Two more breaths wherever you are. Lovely. Slowly come back up And we'll transition into a seated position. If you want to grab a towel or blanket or pillow to sit on, go ahead. Find your most comfortable shape. We'll do a little bit of seated stretching here before we move into our restorative. So we'll start with the right foot in front. A few different options here. Maybe the foot is right here, kind of tucked under a cross-legged position. Or if you want, you can take that right foot a little bit farther in front. That's going to add a bit more to hip, outer thigh stretch. Or you can come into fire log shape, which is stacking your shins, calves, lower legs on top of each other. So there's some space here between the foot and the knee. That's normal. If there's a lot and you're kind of tilting over, then maybe take this option instead. So you've got a little extra hip opening, but it's a bit more kind to your knee and hip joint. So find your option. Good. Let's take those arms wide. We're going to take left arm on top. Stay with the big hug, or maybe hook the fingers. Finding those eagle arms, and breathe. Full inhales and exhales. Good. On the next inhale, unwind the arms. Float those hands up towards the ceiling. We'll come into a side stretch. So take that right arm down, left arm up and over. Good, and feel free to play around a little bit here. Maybe turn the chest a bit more down, maybe a bit more up. Find what works for you today. One more breath. Inhale, hands lift up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to twist to the left. So left hand drops behind, right hand comes to the foot or the thigh. Lift up tall. Always remember that length of the spine and then twist. So again, we're finding that mountain pose right here. That crown of the head lifting up towards the ceiling. Sometimes when we think about length, we take the top of the kind of front of our forehead or top of our forehead and bring it up. But what that does is it decreases our neck here, and we want to lengthen our neck. We want to keep it nice and long, just like the rest of our spine. Good. Slowly unwind, come back to center, hands can lift back up. Now we're going to start to tilt forward. So lean forward as far as you can until you really feel like you're finding that edge of your stretch. Then we're going to float the hands down. And if you want to float a little bit farther, you can, but just breathe where you are. Maybe that tilting forward doesn't feel great. Take a block, bring it out in front, and just have a little tilt. Whatever is working for you today is working for me. So do what you need to do. We got 2 more breaths here. You got it. Come back up. Release the legs from whatever shape they're in. Take them a little bit wider than your hips, and we're going to rock the knees side to side. Good. You can just lean back on the hands or the fingertips. Just kind of shaking the legs out a little bit. Great. Bring it back to center. Now other side in front. So left foot can either be crossed in front. You can take it out a little bit farther. Or again, if you want, find that fire log. So we're stacking lower legs. Knee and foot don't have to touch. One side's probably going to be different than the other. Find the shape that's right for you on this side. Great. Take those arms out. We'll start with eagle arms. Right arm on top. Again, maybe big hug. Maybe start to bring those palms towards each other or hook the fingers. We've got 5 breaths here. You got it. Unwind. Inhale. Hands lift. This time take that left arm down, right arm up and over. Again, play around if you want. Move through that upper body a little bit. Or maybe stillness is what you need right now. A couple more breaths. Great. Hands lift up. Now we'll twist to the right. Hands float over to the right. And again, crown of the head lifts up. Another thing that happens sometimes when we think about lengthening the spine is we actually come into a bit of a back bend. So we feel that chest really lift up and we kind of lean back a tad through that upper body. So hug rib cage in, crown of the head is lifting up, sits bones are reaching down. Great work, everybody. You got 2 more breaths wherever you are. Fantastic. Unwind yourself. Hands rise up. Again, we'll start this tilt. So remember, this side might be different than the first. Start to find your lean. When you get close to that edge or you're approaching that edge, hands float down to block or floor. And then if you want, you can tilt a little more forward. Just keep that breath going. Great. Soften the jaw, soften the lips. 2 more to go. Great. Slowly come back up. Bring the legs out in front again. Feet wider than the hips. Let's rock those knees. Good. Now it's time for our restorative and rest part of the class. So come back to the mat. Let's have some time for renewal. Back comes all the way down. Take a moment here, bring the feet as wide as your mat and let the knees fall in towards each other. Arms can rest wherever you want, maybe closer to the sides. If you want to bring them out like a T, you can even rest them overhead. It's really about what feels good for the upper body. But we'll take a few more breaths here. This shape is called constructive rest. And I really, really love the name of this shape because I think sometimes we get in the habit of really wanting to do all the things. And rest doesn't usually tend to be one of the things on our list. So having this shape called constructive rest, maybe that feels a little better to the ego, like you're doing something. It's constructive, of course. 1 more breath here. Good. Take those feet, bring them back in about hip distance. Knees are going to come into the chest. Rock a little bit here. If this feels uncomfortable for any reason, you can keep the feet on the mat and just rock the knees side to side. Good. Another breath or 2. Just massaging that low back, outer hip space a little bit. Nice. Bring the feet back again to the mat. Take those arms out wide. We're going to lift the hips up, shift them a little to the right, and drop the knees to the left. So if coming into this twist feels maybe a little too intense right now for whatever reason, you can take a pillow or blanket between the knees. You can also take one underneath that outer thigh, just to kind of gently unwind a little bit and give yourself some more support. As we settle in here for a couple minutes, eyes start to soften, jaw relaxes, neck and shoulders soften. Arms and hands feel heavy. Belly and back relax. And legs feel heavy too. Give the body permission to fall into this support. Keeping that breath nice and steady. About 5 more breaths here. Wonderful. In your own time, we'll slowly bring those knees back to center. Take a breath to realign yourself. And then when you're ready, hips lift up. Take them to the left, knees are going to drop to the right this time. Same options here. Feel free to add in some extra support in between the knees, underneath that outer thigh, wherever you need. And settle in. Starting from the top and slowly working your way down, just like we did on the other side. Just taking a moment or two to check into each space and see if you can soften a little. Again, we're not looking for perfection, just a little more awareness. About 1 more minute on this side. Five more breaths here. Very good. Slowly coming back to center. Taking your time again. Realigning the hips and the shoulders. Good. Arms can maybe come back by the sides. We'll take 1 more minute here of upside down time. So if you used to take my classes back in the day, we would always have some upside down time at the end of class. And that could range anywhere from something restorative to handstands or other inversions. Today we're going to stick with something nice and restorative. You can do this one leg or both legs at a time. It's really up to you. We're just going to bring one foot up towards the ceiling or both feet. If you would prefer to do one at a time, that's okay. I'm just going to let you know when it's about halfway through so you can switch. Good. These kind of restorative inversions are so very good to help with sleep. So if you're in a season of life where sleep is challenging, this is a good option to do before you go to bed. It's also really good for your circulation, for your lymphatic system, which helps to support your immune system. Good. If you're doing one leg at a time, go ahead and switch. Nice. Just a few more breaths here. Good. Feet are going to slowly come back again to the mat. Maybe again you find that constructive rest. Feet wide as the mat, knees fall in together. And if you'd like, one hand to the heart center, one hand to the belly. Finishing like we started. 5 breaths here. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Or if you only have 30 minutes, come back up to a seated position. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, bring those hands together in prayer. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and choosing to spend it here with me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. I'd love to know if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to put into my next class. Thank you so much for being here.